Coming up on Sports Paws, the men's ice hockey team tried to break their Lake Placid curse over the weekend.
And the Acrobatics Tumbling team took on Iona for their second home meet of the season.
And the baseball team took on defending MAC champs Ryder in a 3-game set.
All this and more coming up on Sports Paws starting right now.
Welcome back to another episode of Sports Paws. My name is Patrick Walsh, and alongside me is Brianna Trachtenberg. Brianna, how are you feeling tonight?
Patrick, I'm feeling good tonight, and we've got a lot of action packed into this week's show, so let's just get started. Heading into the men's ice hockey team, one Bobcat earned some major conference hardware. Colin Graff has been named as the recipient of the ECAC Hockey Player of the Year award. Graff led the league in all three offensive categories with 22 goals, 26 assists, and in total points with 33. Throughout his 28 games, Graff has also averaged 1.65 points per game and had a 1.191 shot percentage. In addition, Graff has been named as a top 10 Hobie Baker Award finalist for the second year in a row. Another Bobcat took home some hardware for his skills on the defensive side of the rink. Jacob Quillen has been named as the ECAC Hockey Best Defensive Forward for the season. Quillen recorded 10 goals and 20 assists and averaged 1.36 points per game. He also registered 64 shots on goal and a plus-minus of 18. The junior forward finished the regular season with 19 block shots and a team best of 29 assists. Throughout the season, he earned 2 back-to-back Forward of the Week awards and 2 back-to-back Forward of the Month awards.
The men's ice hockey team looked to break their Lake Placid curse as they took on the St. Lawrence Saints in the semifinals of the ECAC Tournament on Friday. Quinnipiac versus St. Lawrence in the ECAC semifinals in Lake Placid, New York. Vinny Duplessis seen here, getting ready for the game, going over his butterfly stance. And in the first period, the puck will come into the blue line, and it will be shot and tipped, but Duplessis makes the save to keep it scoreless. Later on, Riley Morgan collects the pass and comes in on a breakaway, but Duplessis stands tall to keep the game tied at 0. In the second period, we see Tomas Mazura get the pass, heads over the blue line, and he rips it past Duplessis to give St. Lawrence their first goal. St. Lawrence would be up 1-0. Quinnipiac tried to respond, though, as they will go on shorthanded chance, and Jacob Quillen will send it to Zach Tupker, but he is unable to get it past Ben Cross. Just past halfway in the second, Felix Kavars sends a pass across the crease to Max Dorrington and hits it off his foot to give St. Lawrence a 2-0 lead. Ryan Pecknoble challenged the goal for kicking the puck into that, but we see here on the replay it's a good goal. Heading into the final period, St. Lawrence gets on an early 2-1 chance, but Duplessis makes yet another save for the Bobcats. Quinnipiac tries to respond as Graff sends it over to the goal, but it rolls over his stick. In the dying minutes, the Bobcats had a golden chance, but Treelord was unable to get it past Ben Cross. Davis Pennington would lose the puck at the blue line, and it's off to the races. Ty Nakins beats Graff to the puck and puts it in the back of the net to extend their lead to 3-0. Quinnipiac loses 7-17 St. Lawrence. They're 3-0. The team will now turn their attention to the NCAA tournament and see who they face in the NCAA tournament. ECAC Hockey just signed a contract extension to keep their championship in Lake Placid through the 2026 through 2026. Men's IC hockey beat reporter Gage Kilborn has more.
Lake Placid has witnessed a lot of historic moments here. One of the big ones being the 1980 Olympics, where the United States beat the Soviets in ice hockey. And now another history being made as ECAC Conference just announced that they will continue playing their championships here in Lake Placid for the next 2 years.
One of the first things that I did was reach out to ORDA and really talk about what their goals were, what their needs were, and then obviously what our goals and needs were. And one of the things that took us a little bit of time to really be able to understand exactly what each other wanted. But as the time progressed, what we really wanted was to be able to come back here and make this the home of ECAC hockey. And once we really got to that point, it got to the point where, okay, all the force was going in that direction, and we just wanted to make sure that we worked together to ensure that it was a really good partnership, and it is.
Needless to say, the reactions of the Lake Placid extension were fantastic, as many members of the league love being a part of the hockey history.
It's fantastic news for the league. It's great news for the fans. And if I was a player in the league now, I'd be so excited to come back to a beautiful place like this, just even with the snow. You know, a lot of people think that'd be harsh. It's so beautiful. It's hockey weather. The fans here really support it. There's so much passion in the community for hockey. I think it's the best thing that Commissioner Christensen could have done. A 2-year extension is awesome.
Look at the environment up here. I mean, the history is just obvious. When you walk into the rink and I remember watching the 1980 Olympics, and seeing it, and then you come around, and over the past years, we've had Olympians come back and talk to us about it, but we walk through the town, I played here as a player in the 80s, they had a Christmas tournament, we played here at a Christmas tournament this year, and it's just a great environment. I mean, it was nice to walk, you see the snow flying, and it was truly a hockey event, and even with that kind of weather, you give credit to the fans that got here tonight, and it was a great environment, and it was really exciting.
Quinnipiac looks to make their own history next year as they look for more than just a semifinal exit. Reporting from Lake Placid, Gage Kilborn, Q30 Sports.
Received an at-large bid in Sunday's selection show and will play the Wisconsin Badgers in the first round. Beat reporters Eli Ehlers and Andrew Reynolds analyzed Quinnipiac's path through the regionals.
Thank you, Brianna and Patrick, and welcome to the first line. I'm Andrew Reynolds alongside Eli Ehlers, and the Quinnipiac Bobcats. They're back in the NCAA tournament, and they're going to be facing off against the Wisconsin Badgers in the first round, and the winner of that game will either play the Boston College Eagle or the Michigan Tech, Huskies. And this is going to be at the Amica Mutual Pavilion, formerly known as, of course, Dunkin' Donuts Center in Providence.
Yeah, I mean, I think you have some big matchups here. Boston College are the #1 seed coming into this. They've been the #1 seed for a while now. They're a really strong team. But Michigan Tech, they're a good team too. They are the #16 seed, but they won their league. They're a strong team. They could potentially upset Boston College. And then you look at the Wisconsin-Quinnipiac game. That's a tough game. It's a #8 versus #9. So I really think that game, it really could go either way.
Yeah, another thing to say is, Michigan Tech they have the Richter Award finalist, their goaltender, one of the best in the country. And also the Michigan Tech team, they were an at-large bid last year, so they have a potential to go far in the tournament. However, this Boston College team is definitely somebody that's going to be in their way because they're a really strong team. And it's going to be really, I would say, something surprising if Boston College goes out in that first round. But let's more focus on this Wisconsin-Quinnipiac game and looking at the Quinnipiac opponent here. Wisconsin, they lost in the quarterfinals of the Big Ten tournament to Ohio State. They lost in a best-of-3 series. And Wisconsin, they've struggled to Ohio State. And Ohio State was on a roll until they got eliminated, not in the tournament, of course. But Wisconsin is not a team to look past. The USCHO poll came out today, said that Wisconsin was actually 9 in comparison to Quinnipiac, who was at 8. Yeah. But in the pairwise, it's flipped. So this is going to be a close game.
Yeah, I mean, it really, like we said before, it really could go either way. But one thing I want to point out, Wisconsin beat Michigan Tech 4-2 and 5-2 earlier in the year. So if Michigan Tech is able to get to that next game, you never know what could happen. But let's take a look at the other matchup now with the #1 Boston College Eagles. This is, like we said, a powerhouse of a team. They beat BU in the Hockey East Championship, and they rolled over BU in that Hockey East Championship. When you look at their notable players, there's only 3 on here for this graphic, but Reynolds, you could have probably 10 players on this notable players list.
I know. And this Boston College team is not the same team Quinnipiac saw earlier in the year. And, I mean, although it's the same team, same players, it's not the same chemistry. Yeah. Because they probably could have put way more goals on Quinnipiac in that game. And I think that Quinnipiac also, they lacked Colin Graff and Sam Lipkin in that game. And if we see a rematch of opening night, it is going to be a huge game. It's going to be a really enjoyable game to watch. The reigning national champions against the favorite for the national championship right now. And then the Eagles, their opponent is going to be the Michigan Tech Huskies. And this is a team not to look past. They had an at-large bid last year, won their league as well. And they have, like I said earlier, Richter Award finalist and their goaltender. So this is not a team to look past. However, it's going to be really hard for them to beat Boston College.
Yeah, I think, like you said, it's going to be really hard to beat Boston College, but it's March. You never know. They beat Bemidji State in the CCHA championship. They're a little bit over 500, so not the best season, but they're still a team that you never can count out just because, as we've said, it's March. You never know.
Yeah, that's right. You say it's March. It is March Madness for the men's NCAA hockey, and that'll do it for the first line. There's always room for upsets, but like I said, that'll do it for the first line here on Sports Paws. For Eli Ehlers, I'm Andrew Reynolds. Send it back to the desk.
The men's lacrosse team looked to stay undefeated against Marist this weekend. The Bobcats improved to 7-0 after the 13-10 win against the Red Foxes on Saturday. Quinnipiac remains the only undefeated Division I team in the country. The 7-0 start is the program's best record since 2008. During the game, Brian Donnery recorded a total of 6 points with 3 goals and 3 assists. 7 different Bobcats scored in their win against the Red Foxes. Mason Oak continued to stand tall as he made 11 saves in the win.
After the Bobcats continued their win streak, could they make it into this week's Inside Lacrosse poll? The Bobcats are ranked after 6 weeks without a loss for the first time since 2013. The Bobcats currently stand at number 20 in the latest poll with a 6-0 record and a 3-0 in MAC with no non-conference games remaining. The Bobcats will look to stay hot in their final 6 MAC games, chasing the perfect season. Highlights of the Bobcats season so far include the wins on the road against St. John's and at home against Brown.
We've still got a lot of action to get through, Patrick.
You said it. Let's take a look at what's coming up next.
The Acrobatics Tumbling team hosted Iona for their second home meet of the year. Could the Bobcats stay undefeated on the mats?
And it was opening day at Cross MAC Baseball as the Bobcats hosted Ryder for a 3-game set. We'll check out how the team fared on the diamond when we come back.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies. Selfie, nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's split a ride home.
When we adopt a shelter pet, we discover they're a unique mix of all kinds of things.
Come on, Drew, spot me on this last one. There it is. Keep going with it. Leo.
They're a little bit of a lot of things, but they're all pure love.
Multiple studies have shown that marijuana can slow both driver reaction and response time, which can be really dangerous. He's here. He's here. Wait. What? I can't drive. Why? My. Oh.
Welcome back to Sports Paws, and thanks for sticking with us. For the first time this season, 2 Bobcats earned NCAA weekly awards. Tiffany Zieber has been named as NCAA Athlete of the Week, and Hallie Fowler has been named as NCAA Specialist of the Week. During their meets against Azusa Pacific and the University of Oregon last week, Zieber helped the Bobcats earn 10 scores of 9.5 or higher, including a perfect 10 in the open pyramid. Fowler recorded 4 scores of 9.75 or higher throughout the 2 meets. Her and the Bobcats earned a 9.9 in the open pyramid against Azusa Pacific and a 9.95 against the University of Oregon. After the trip out west, the Bobcats returned home to take on first-year program Iona University. The Bobcats returned home for a matchup against a MAC rival, but this time in a brand new sport, acrobatics and tumbling. Now let's jump right into the compulsory event, where we see Quinnipiac's Alyssa Dillon and Lindsay Rudolph as they are tossed up in the air in almost perfect unison and make the smooth landing to earn them a 9.8. Now going to Heat 3 in the Acro event, where Mia Rose King pushes up into that handstand position and then makes the connection down into the strata position and flashes a smile to the fans and judges. She then continues to show off her strength and flexibility as they maintain a strong hold, and she brings her shoulders forward and she arches her back to hold the C position in the air, looking like she's just freezing time up there. Now it's the final event of the first half, and it's going to be Mia Rose King on top again, but this time in the inversion pyramid heat. She bounces on the hands of Hallie Fowler and presses up into that handstand position and holds it there before falling flat back and earning a 9.75. Now heading into the second half of the meet, and it's time for the toss event. First year, Catherine Coker is on top for the 450 salto toss and maintains almost perfect form as she earns a 9.55. It's tumble time, and Catherine Carter returns to the mat to compete in the aerial tumbling heat, and she maintains good control of her body and a good line to earn a 9.7. Now it's the event of chaos, it's the team event. Right in the middle of it all is 3 in-sync tosses showcasing the connection between the athletes. The Bobcats would earn a 90.75 and take the win with a final score of 270.825 to Iona's 261.8. Iona marked the third first-year team that the Bobcats have competed against this season, and the sport continues to grow rapidly. Q30's James Bolano has more on the story.
The National Collegiate Acrobatics and Tumbling Association is well on its way to applying for NCAA championship status. Bobcats players and coaches could not be more excited for this process, as legendary head coach Marianne Powers was a part of the NCATA since its inception and helped create the sport.
I think for the pioneers that did this for all of us, you got to understand the sport is, you've got gymnastics, floor gymnastics and disciplines of gymnastics in high school. You've got competitive cheer in high school. To marry the two sports, but it not to be competed at the youth level, means that hundreds of girls in the past, women in the past 14 years, took that leap of faith and tried a new sport. And so many of them are now going out and coaching, which is really kind of cool.
The Bobcats' opponents, the Iona Gales, are part of the process that's helping the NCATA expand towards its eligibility for NCAA championship status. And players are enjoying the process of playing against these new teams.
It's definitely great. It's definitely a good feeling. I mean, every team we go up against, it's fun, and it's just fun.
In the immediate future, the Bobcats will focus their efforts toward a meet with the Gannon Golden Knights on April 6th to look to continue their undefeated season on their senior meet. For Q30 Sports, I'm James Bueno.
The men's basketball team traveled down south to continue their season in the CBI tournament. The Bobcats season came to an end after a 64-63 loss against Evansville in the first round of the CBI tournament. Graduate guard Matt Bullock finished with just 7 points, ending his career in second on Quinnipiac's all-time scoring leaderboard. Paul Tiano led Quinnipiac with 16 points and 8 rebounds. The Bobcats bench had a strong presence in the game too. Doug Young had 12 points off the bench, and Alexis Reyes had 10 points and 9 rebounds.
There was a silver lining to the loss, however. Quinnipiac was able to secure few more program records in the loss for the Purple Aces. Sophomore forward Amari Tice had 58 steals coming into the game and needed 3 to break the single-season record. Tice tied the record with 5:40 to go and broke the record with just under 3 minutes to go in the game. Tice finished the season with 62 steals and averaged 1.8 per game. The team also set new records for total points in a season with 2,630 for free throw percentage with a rate of 77.5%. The Battle of the Avenue took to the diamond on Wednesday as the Bobcats made the short trip to Yale. The Bulldogs defeated the Bobcats 6-1. Yale reliever Josh Richardson had himself a day. He struck out 9 Quinnipiac batters over 5 2/3 innings. Raymond McNaught gave up 4 earned runs over 2 innings pitched. Runs were driven in by third baseman Davis Hansen, first baseman Alec Atkinson, second baseman Jake Williams, and catcher Max Imhoff. The lone Quinnipiac run was scored on a Jared Zimbardo sac fly to center field, scoring Braden Seaberg. The Bobcats look to bounce back, kicking off a 3-game set with the Rider Bronx in a doubleheader on Friday. Quinnipiac taking on the defending MAC champion Rider Bronx in a doubleheader. Let's jump right into game 1. First-year infielder Joe Trioli catches a slider at the top of the zone and blasts a 2-run homer over the left field wall to put Rider up 2-0 in the first inning. This would be a common theme throughout the day. In the 6th inning, the Bronx offense gets to work as graduate student Jack Winsey drills a double down the right field line to drive in 2 base runners. The Rider had a 6-run 6th inning to put them up 8-0. Just offense all around the board for the Rider in game 1. Headed to the bottom of the 6th, Quinnipiac captain Keegan O'Connor would send a ball down the left field line to drive in 2 runs to help the Bobcats inch closer. But it wouldn't be enough as the Bronx would take game 1 of the doubleheader 11-3. Brianna, just domination from Rider in game 1.
The Bobcats have a lot of work to do if they're going to want to win the second game in this doubleheader.
That's right. Half an hour later, these two teams would gear up to play game 2 of the afternoon. Bottom of the first inning, game already tied at 1. Sophomore Christian Smith steps up to the plate and gives the Bobcats a 3-1 lead with this rocket to left. That would put the Bobcats up 3-1.
Great start for the Bobcats in the second game, getting on the board early on.
Game 1 Bobcats didn't hit any homers, but they're changing that up for Game 2, as in the 4th inning, senior Sebastian Mueller would step up to the plate and he would hit a tank down in his second at bat back from injury. The Bash Man is back from in Hamden making some noise for the Cats. That was only his second at bat after being injured since the February 17th game against Liberty. He missed 16 games with that injury.
Really a great way for him to come back and return and make his mark onto the team. Just awesome to see from him.
That's right. We go to the top of the 9th, game tied at 8, and Riders Brian Scatini steps into the box and hits a go-ahead 3-run bomb to secure the Bronx a doubleheader sweep. Riders scored 22 runs on the afternoon as Quinnipiac used 13 pitchers in both games. Clayton Poley and Brian Young both earned wins for the Bronx as they'll look to sweep the weekend series on Sunday.
22 runs, a lot for Quinnipiac to give up in just the 2 games, but they got a long way to go if they want to make some wins this season. The Bobcats return to the diamond to try and prevent a series sweep on Sunday. Burt Ryder dominated the Bobcats yet again, winning the getaway game 11-1. Ryder would strike first on an RBI single in the top of the first and then again at the top of the second. Quinnipiac tried to narrow the gap after Matt DeRosa was able to cross home plate in the 4th inning, but Ryder scored 5 runs in the 5th inning and never looked back. With the loss, the Bobcats go to 5-15 overall and will try to right the ship at home tomorrow against Rhode Island. Baseball beat reporter Aaron Epstein talked to the manager John Delaney about Quinnipiac's defensive struggles after the weekend sweep.
The Quinnipiac Bobcats are notorious in the MAC for winning many games with their high-powered offense, but poor defense can take them out of those games. Head coach John Delaney was not pleased with his team's defensive performance today, and he had one word specifically that came to mind to describe it.
It's horrible. Missed three fly balls in 1 inning. I mean, it's horrible. I don't have any other way of saying it. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's just not good.
On Sunday, the Bobcats lost multiple fly balls in the sun, as well as misplaying many routine other plays. These defensive mishaps have not only been an issue on Sunday, but have been a season-long problem.
You're not going to win games if you don't play good defense. It's that simple. I mean, our defense has been way below average for whatever reason it is, but we're not playing caliber defense that's going to win games and win championships.
Playing in the sun is not new to the Bobcats, as they've practiced this way for years.
We practice in this field every single day, and you know where the sun is, and we work on the sun every day as outfielders. We got to do a better job on the defensive side of handling the situation.
Delaney has seen enough of the defensive mistakes, and he's taking matters into his own hands.
Take the bats out of the hand. We're just going to practice defense every practice until we play Siena.
We'll see if the no bats in practice approach pays off as they go on the road to visit Rhode Island on Tuesday. For Q30 Sports, I'm Aaron Epstein.
It is now time for our last commercial break of the night. Players from the ice and the courts entered the transfer portal this week. We'll get you updated on all the movement from the teams across campus.
And of course, Patrick, the most exciting time of the night, top 5 plays. You know that Aqua made the cut. We'll be back after this.
Type 2 diabetes can have a big impact on your life, but how can it be prevented? Well, the first step is knowing if you have prediabetes, a serious medical condition that puts you at high risk for type 2 diabetes. 1 in 3 American adults has prediabetes, but more than 80% don't know they have it. The good news is, prediabetes can be reversed, and for many people, healthy changes in their daily routine can make a big difference. Take the 1-minute risk test today at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Meet the Scan, a simple procedure whose mission is to detect lung cancer early.
I'm here to save you.
But I feel fine.
That's great, but you may still be at high risk for lung cancer.
Oh man, that's a new fence.
If you smoke, early detection could save your life. Learn more at savedbythescan.org.
I think it's just vapor with flavor.
It won't hurt my kid like cigarettes, right?
Vaping is safer than smoking, isn't it?
There's really not even that much nicotine in them, right?
My kid?
My kid
knows it's dangerous. Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping, maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
He makes fun of his friend who vapes.
He would never try it.
She's into soccer.
She's on the honor roll.
She's just not the type.
No way.
No way.
No way.
No way, my kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping. Maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
Welcome back. We'll keep it on the bases as the Quinnipiac softball team took on Marist in a doubleheader on Friday. The Bobcats were defeated in both games of Friday's doubleheader by the reigning MAC champs. Kylie Myers gave up 1 run in a complete game for the Red Foxes in Game 1. All Marist runs were scored in the first 3 innings, with Maya McDonald and Haley R. driving in 2 on RBI singles in the first, Peyton Pusey stealing home in the second, and Ronnie Howard hitting a grand slam in the third. The lone Quinnipiac run of the day was scored on a sac fly by Abby LaClaire, scoring Carolyn Walker. Runs in Game 2 were scored on a Maya McDonald homer and an Alyssa Grupp single. Anna Sidlowski also pitched a complete game in Game 2. The Bobcats look to bounce back against the Red Foxes on Sunday. Marist crushed Quinnipiac 14-0. Haley R. and Ronnie Howard both drove in 3 runs for the Red Foxes. Maya McDonald drove in 2 runs, and Maddie Pleasance, Isabella Mannery, Anna Sidlowski, and Caitlin Husick all driving in run. Kylie Myers pitched 4 innings and struck out 3, and Isabella Milazzo struck out the side in the 5th to close out the game under the mercy rule. Sydney Horan started the game for the Bobcats and gave up 9 runs over an inning and 2/3. The Bobcats will be back in action against FDU on Saturday.
The women's tennis team opened up MAC play this weekend. The Bobcats took down the Marist Red Foxes in a 6-1 win. Quinnipiac won 4 singles matches in straight sets and only had 1 loss in the singles matches. Caroline Scholson and Caitlin Flower and Annika Shankar and Nicole Lisovi each won their doubles match to help the Bobcats bring home their first conference win of the season. With the win, the Bobcats also extended their overall conference win streak to 10 straight matches. They now sit at 5-10 overall as they look to play their next match against Siena on Saturday. Even though the women's ice hockey season is done, a lot of movement has been happening throughout the team. 5 women's ice hockey players are transferring out of Quinnipiac. Forwards Mallory Marker, Sammy Bowlby, Veronica Bach, and Kate Villeneuve, and goaltender Lucy Phillips have all entered the transfer portal. The team has already secured 2 transfers, Browns graduate goalie Kaylee Doyle and Dartmouth senior forward Jenna Donahue. Doyle finished the season with 825 saves and a .925 save percentage. Donahue recorded 7 goals and 15 assists this season.
There were also some roster changes from the women's basketball team this week. Third-year senior Raven Douglas and first-years Cassidy Thompson and Emma Carmen all announced their intention to enter the transfer portal. Douglas broke the news on her Instagram saying, quote, "The past 3 years have been beyond special. I want to thank my coaches for the opportunity to be here," end quote. Douglas also shouted out the QU School of Journalism in her post. Thompson played in 24 games for the Bobcats, averaging 2.1 points per game. Carmen enters the portal after not playing all season for the Bobcats.
Patrick, have you ever read one of those BuzzFeed's top 5 articles? I wish we had one of those for Quinnipiac.
Well, you're in luck, Brianna, as it's now time for top 5 plays. Hit it, Miss Director.
It's for play number 5, Patrick. It's Stephen Germain. He's sliding past his defenders and ripping the shot home.
Bobcats stay undefeated with the win. Play 4 versus Evanfield. Matt Belanc feeds Paul Tiltiano for the beauty right there. Bobcats lost this 64-63.
He hits the hammer, and it's play number 3, and the Saints on a breakaway, taking a shot at Benny Plessy, lays out for the pad save. Bobcats get shut out in that one, though, 3-0.
Play 2, Acro versus Iona. Kat Carter with an amazing aerial pass that scored a 9.7. Bobcats win the meet and stay undefeated.
She's keeping great form right there, but it's play number 1, and it's Gabe Wright sprinting to that ball, and he launches it, the second catching the runner out. Bobcats would lose that one, game 6-1, but look at that throw, Patrick.
What a play there. Are you excited for the regionals on Friday, Brianna?
I am excited, Patrick. No, I love hockey, and I'm excited to watch them take on Wisconsin. I think it's going to be a good game.
That's all for Sports Paws this Monday night. We want to thank all those behind the scenes who make this show possible. Make sure to follow us on social media at Q30 Sports and stay connected online at Q30TV.com.
From all the producers and everyone working hard behind the scenes, he's Patrick Walsh and I'm Brianna Trackberg. Have a great week, Bobcats.